So did you hear about this? This is interesting. So apparently 60 Minutes was caught editing their Kamala Harris interview, cutting and separating sentences so she would look better than she did on camera. And to no surprise, because we have seen corporate media do this numerous times. We just covered recently about CTV News doing that to Pierre Poilievre to, again, accuse him of something that he didn't say and splicing material into conversation that he didn't make. Now they're doing it to Kamala Harris to make her look good. So here's this from Giger Capital saying, Holy S, 60 Minutes cut Kamala's nonsense answer on Israel and replaced it with a completely separate sentence she said earlier in the interview. Mixing and matching questions and answers. This isn't journalism. This is fraud. You want to see this? So they put the two together. So on top here is what she actually said in the interview. And then underneath that is what they edited out. Listen to this.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that
we have done by what it's been, right? Is that what you're going for here? So that was the response you get. But listen how they edited this out. Listen to this.
Or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems.
So that was a totally different answer to a totally different question, but they spliced it in to the answer, the question about Netanyahu, because they know that Kamala Harris, as she answered that, it was complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. Again, listen to this.
You said Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
So there you go. 60 Minutes, CBS, caught deliberately altering clips, not to make a candidate look bad, like CTV News did with Pierre Poilievre, or if they did it to Trump. But this is them trying to alter clips to make Kamala Harris more confident at that answer. More presidential, as they would say. You know, Brian Williams would say that, oh my God, she seems more presidential. Seems more presidential. Let's send a rocket into the air so I can cream my pants again. Because I just love how presidential they are when they're bombing more countries, when they're doing genocide. That is amazing. That's amazing. Again, this goes common with corporate media. This goes common with corporate media, and that's why they're trying to censor down as much of this as possible, because they don't want to be exposed by altering clips. They don't want to expose the fact that 60 Minutes probably colluded with the Kamala Harris campaign to alter this clips to make her look better by not giving the actual answer that she responded with, but give an alternate answer that she said to another question. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely credible. And by the way, Kamala Harris, you know, no matter who you vote for at this point, whether it being her or Trump, sadly, it's not going to stop any real measures of Israel and their reign of terror against Lebanon and Gaza and Syria and all these other places that they want to invade. At least in the case of Trump, he's willing to, go to a negotiation when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, which that's great. That's amazing. We need more of that, especially if that contemplates into a nuclear war, which we don't want at all. So any measure, even if it's coming from a game show host, at least that's something. But let it be known that because of AIPAC, because of the mass corruption, because the Zionist cult movement that has encapsulated all these people and just completely just brainwashed them for evil and genocide. Sadly, nothing's going to change unless there was actually a person willing to challenge this and hold back the weaponry. Because that's what they need to do. They need to hold back the weapons, the arms sales, the money dealings with Israel. They need to drain it out completely, defund the Israel lobby. And if they win and lose if they lose, or win if they win, they need to hold themselves above water. And right now, if it wasn't for the United States, if it wasn't for the allies that Israel is blackmailing, they're not holding a chance. They're not holding a chance. According to some insiders there, the economy in Israel is crumbling. People are leaving the country. They're leaving the war-torn country because they're so sick of it. There was mass protests against their own government in Israel. But they don't show you that. They don't show you that. They want to continue on this war because continuous war is good for business. It's good for the business of Israel. It's good for the business of everything. And as we're going to show you in the next clip here, that Tim Walz even said during a debate, accidentally, he made another slip moment here, where he said that we have to expand more of Israel because it's important to the United States. It's important to the United States so that we can gain more control of the Middle East. And that's the whole reason behind all this. The whole reason this country that was a settlement, not even really a country, just a colonization of someone else's land, why they did the Nakba, why they did the mowing the lawn, why they, desecrated against Palestinians, why they restrict them of food and water and shelter and treated them worse than prisoners. The reason for all this is so that they can have military operations in the Middle East so they can control other nations. And just as RFK Jr. said, another Zionist follower, RFK Jr. points out, it's like an aircraft carrier. It's like an aircraft carrier. We could continue on our militia overseas in that nation and use it as our own kind of military base. And people are leaving that base. The citizens that are there are leaving that base because they're so sick and tired of how awful and irregardless people like Netanyahu are to their people. Their government is as terrible as our governments. Go figure. Maybe that's why we're such great friends and allies.